Hi, what is hypnosis? Well, hypnosis, of course, is a way of using your own subconscious mind, your imagination, to clear away issues from the past, any old triggers or traumas, and really free you up so you can start to have a better life. So what we know is that the first 7 years of our life, we are basically in hypnosis. It's the same brainwave pattern, that alpha theta brainwave pattern. So after the first 7 years, a gateway starts to build up between the conscious and subconscious mind, and that is called the critical faculty. So it means that if more information comes into your mind and your experiences that agrees with the subconscious belief system, then that gate opens and you say, I knew this was going to happen, this always happens to me. If information comes in that doesn't agree with those core beliefs, the gate will slam shut and you'll say, I really wish I could believe it, but so far nothing's happened that agrees with that, so I just can't trust that it's going to work out for me. So what we know, in fact, is that the conscious mind's really only 5 to 10%, but the subconscious mind is like the bottom of one of those iceberg pictures. It's 90 to 95% of your mind. And that is basically what controls your day-to-day activities or the way you respond to different emotions. So what we tend to do is we tend to distract. So if you've got perhaps an anxious feeling, you will distract. And a lot of us do all different kinds of things. Any addictive behavior, for example, generally is a distraction from those core emotions. And for some people that might be smoking, it might be grabbing some food or a bit of chocolate or eating, it might be gambling, it might be drugs, it might be all kinds of different things. It could be work. So we can become a workaholic as a way to not deal with any of those emotions. We just keep so busy. And so we all find different ways to cope, but unfortunately that doesn't actually solve the problem. What we're really doing is just putting band-aids on top when we just do some of the normal therapies as well, because until we really get into the subconscious mind where the core is, we really have a difficult time sort of shifting it. So it's kind of like every trigger becomes like, or every distraction becomes like another layer. And we go throughout our life, those first 7 years, having that foundation, the core thing that started that feeling in the first place. And then everything else just becomes, as I said, another layer. So pretty soon we can't even remember what the real problem is. And when we do some of the advanced techniques that we do in 5-path hypnosis, which is the main kind of hypnotherapy that I use, and it's an advanced form where we're using advanced techniques to really get to the core of the problem. So when we do age regression, we use techniques like bringing up that emotion and using it as a bridge to go back further, and that's called an affect bridge. So we can bring up that anxious feeling and we can track it back to an earlier time, to the very first time you ever had that feeling. Then we can generally pull that switch out of that switchboard. And it's like that house of cards, you pull the bottom one out and all the years of pain fall away. And so that's just one of the techniques we use, but we also do gestalt therapy in hypnosis. So we're working on forgiveness of others, forgiveness of ourselves, clearing any of the other emotional triggers like grief or anger. Anger is a big one for a lot of people too. And what we find is if we can clear those emotional triggers, generally the behavior will stop. So we know that things like anxiety cause sleeplessness, panic attacks, all of those things. Hypnosis is the fastest way to really get rid of those emotions so that you can just, well, it's not even getting rid of them, it's resetting them to a normal level, because we don't actually want to ever get rid of anxiety completely. We want to retrain it so it only goes on alert when it needs to, rather than every time some little tiny thing happens. Now, I'm also a Reiki master. I did my training in 1998-99. I did my hypnotherapy training back in 2005, so that's been quite a few years now. And I've done lots of other things since. I've done lots of other energy medicine techniques. I've learned other mind-body techniques like kinetic shift, which is amazing for kind of pulling blocked energy out of those meridians in the body. And what I do is I really combine lots of different things, lots of different techniques, so I can help my clients get the best out of their, the most out of their appointment, but get the best results. And so if somebody comes in here, for example, I had a lady a few years ago who came in to quit smoking, and she limped in, and I said, "Why are you limping?" And she said, "I've got this really bad back and I've had it for more than 20 years. The pain goes into my hip and down into my knee." And I said, "Let's just see if we can get rid of that pain before we even quit smoking, before you even quit." So she just rolled her eyes and said, "Yeah, sure." Sat down, I put her into a light hypnotic trance, and I did that technique called kinetic shift, and energetically use the chakras on my hands to kind of scoop in and pull that blocked energy out. Now, I know that sounds bizarre, but let me tell you, 20 minutes later, her pain was gone. And when she left the office, I'd forgotten we'd even done the kinetic shift. I just knew she'd left as a non-smoker, but she called out, Carol, come out here." And I ran out and I said, "What's the matter?" And she said, "Watch me walk down the stairs, the pain's gone." Now, I've used that technique for lots of people as well. I had, the first time I used it on someone after I did my training, she had arthritis in her hand, her shoulder, and her neck, and she said 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10, and a 9 out of 10. 15 minutes later, she said, "You are crazy." I said, "You can feel that, can't you?" And she said, "Yes, I could feel that energy flowing down through my arms, and the pain is absolutely gone." And so that works not just with physical pain, but also with emotional pain. However, as I was saying, I use lots of different techniques because it's an integrative wellness approach to really getting a whole healing. So that's what we want to do. We want to just clear away triggers and free you up so you can start to have a better life. Now, we know that pretty much the left hemisphere really correlates with the conscious mind. It's rational and it's logical. And that's the part we work on with normal therapies when we're trying to talk our way through it. But again, it's 5 to 10%. The right hemisphere of the brain is correlated with your subconscious mind. So it deals with emotions and imagination and habits and patterns. And it's 90 to 95%. And so in the middle is the amygdala, and that is the fight or flight part of the brain. And so every time we get stressed, it goes off, and then that makes the body produce adrenaline and cortisol, and it just reacts. So not only does it have an effect on us, so that we then go into that habit that's connected with that emotion through the neural pathways in the brain, but it also sends adrenaline and cortisol into the bloodstream, which then makes your blood become more acidic. And this is a precursor for lots of different diseases like cancers and arthritis and even diabetes. So diabetes. And so we realize that the whole mind and body are absolutely connected. And on the energy side, we also have one of the energy meridians, which we talk about in Chinese medicine or kinesiology. And the fight or flight center is really governed by the triple warmer meridian. Now, in our early ancestors' days, that was really absolutely necessary because you were in a life or death situation if you were being chased by a tiger through the jungle. But in our modern world, that still goes off if, we're stuck in a traffic jam, or one of our kids is late, or the phone rings and we're not expecting it. And every time the fight or flight center goes off, the triple warmer is the thing that's really causing that, because it shoots out all this energy, and that then puts the body into hyperdrive. And it also then, over a period of time, because that system is kind of overworked, it will then start pulling energy out of your other energy meridians. The main one it will start with is your spleen, which is responsible for your immune system, the spleen meridian. And so when we look at everything being so totally connected, what we want to then do is retrain that triple warmer meridian so that it doesn't go off every time some little tiny thing happens, but instead we want to just calm it down so it stops stealing energy from the other meridians, because it will firstly steal from the spleen, but it will then steal from all the other energy meridians which feed the organs that they're named after, all except for the heart meridian. So one of the ways to calm the triple warmer meridian down would be to trace it backwards. Now there are lots of different techniques we can use, and so the meridian comes from here, goes up around the ear. Well, actually it comes from this finger, the second from the last finger, normally flows up, but when we're trying to calm it down, we want to slow it down and just retrain it to only go on alert when it needs to. So we would just trace it from here over the ear and down and off that finger, and then again over the other side and down and off that finger. Then the next thing we want to do is really try to strengthen the spleen meridian. So we might tap the spleen meridian, which is below the nipple point, and it's just the spleen point, and that will draw energy back into that system. So they're just a few little things that you'll learn about when you come and do some work with me. However, I won't spend all my time talking about how everything works. We will get into it and do some work, because as I've always said, hypnosis is the fastest way to change that mind-body response and to get you back into being in charge of your own life, to get rid of those triggers that are sabotaging you or causing you to do things that you later regret. So have a beautiful day, guys. My office is in Macrae Street, Dubbo. As I said, I've been doing hypnosis currently for 17 years, more than 17 years, since 2005. I've been doing Reiki for 24 years or so, and I've also got Touch for Health Kinesiology, Kinetic Shift, Theta Healing, and several other modalities under my belt. But they're all about helping you becoming whole and really healing the things from the past that have limited you and stopped you from reaching your true potential. So please feel free to give me a call if I can help in any way. My phone number is 041 334 6637, or you can just jump on my website, which is just carolmacrae.com, and you can make an appointment from there for a treatment, for a hypnotherapy session, even for a Reiki workshop if you're interested in really learning more. And until I see you, I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful life, and please just take care of you, because life is too short to spend doing things that we later regret. And it really is truly about clearing away the shadows of the past so you can step into the present and create a better future. Have a wonderful day, guys. Namaste. Beautiful. Have a lovely day.